What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. So I couldn't do it on Monday, but I was super excited. I've been doing a lot of stuff lately, actually. That's why I haven't really been on Facebook or Instagram too much. Trying to get things going and rolling, and this was one of the projects that I was working on. When we cast these blanks, the Madrone Burl, I totally had this in mind, and so I'm pretty excited to turn this one up. And actually, I should have, this is the one thing I forgot to go and do before the start. I'm going to link to a video. So, and I think I mentioned this before, but I saw, so Chad Schimmel, gotta spell his name right. Chad Schimmel, trying to explain things and search for Chad's channel all at the same time. Anyway, Chad posted this video about segmenting, and I got super excited because it was literally the simplest, oh, there's a commercial, the simplest way to segment stuff and get a good look. So I made this pen, and I'll switch to the pen blank here real quick. There it is. Look at that sucker. Segmented, but it was super simple. It was like the easiest thing. And so I saw Chad's video, and I was like, I'm totally doing that. And then we cast these Madrone Burl blanks, and I was like, I know what I'm doing with that thing. So there it is, and that's what we're gonna do here today. We will turn that sucker up. So hey, how's it going, Julie? Hope everything's going good with the healing after surgery. So I think I got the link. So here's the link. Gotta remember to put that in the show notes for people that are watching back. There's Chad's video. I highly recommend going and checking it out. And I've been working on, I shot video of doing the segmenting for this. It's not, I'm not doing like, oh, this is how you do segmenting, because there's really no point in me explaining it. Chad's video is absolutely fabulous. He literally takes the hard out of segmenting. Now, you know, this isn't like, you know, like the segmenting where you're gluing like tons and tons of little blocks and things together. It's a little bit simpler than that, but basically all that I used to do that, and Chad sells this at Turner's Warehouse, is this material. It's got basically like plastic in the middle and metal on the outside surrounding it. And so you just glue one of those things in and it looks fabulous. Super simple segmenting. And so I definitely, you know, if you like the look of that pen blank, let me switch views again, just for the heck of it. If you like this look, I mean, it doesn't get any simpler. It's a few daubs of CA glue and you just cut it and that's it. That's all there is to it. And you can get crazy. I decided, rather than doing, you know, because you can do like the Celtic knots and that requires like a bunch of 45-degree cuts and gluing and lots of steps. I thought I'm just going to do the simplest possible thing and get a pen blank done. And so that's what I did, and it literally took me probably 10 minutes. Like, so very simple. I highly recommend trying this out. I want to try and do this with some acrylic blanks as well. I think it'd be, you know, full acrylics or, you know, Alumilite resin. I think it'd be kind of cool. So anyway, that's what we're up to today. Should be pretty fun. Let's see here. How do you, James? Yeah, so if you want to see some amazing, like that super technical, difficult stuff that I got to be honest, I've seen like James, so put a link to your channel, James. I'm not sure if you're able to. I don't know if people can put links. Try and put a link and I'll accept it or whatever if it shoots it back. But go check out some of the segmented pens that he's done. Like, so what did you do? Like a 500 and 1,000 and a 2,000 segment pen for hitting those milestones with your channel? I forget exactly what the numbers were. They were crazy. So, I mean, this is not anywhere near the level of like, you know, that kind of, I don't know that I want to call it real segmenting, but you know, it's the like super technical stuff. And I always saw people doing that type of thing, and I'm like, I'm not even messing with it. I don't even want to do that kind of stuff. But then I saw, like I said, Chad's video, and you're just basically cut a couple things and then glue those little pieces in, and you have a segmented pen, and it's going to look pretty good, I think. So anyway, you know, go check out James's channel. He's got some really amazing segmented pens that he's done. And other people have too, but I'm going for easy. I like the easy with, you know, big rewards. Like that thing looks pretty good. So let's switch to the turning view. Let's see. Let me just double check and see who's all here. Who's all here? Julie and Tony and Bruce and Marty's here. Daryl's here. Nice. Chad's asking, are the pen blank molds from Turner's from a 3D printer? You mean like the slotted ones? Is that what you're talking about? They definitely aren't, if that's what you mean. Like these ones, Chad? This is a block of HDPE that's been milled out. You might be able to get away with 3D printing them somehow, but I gotta be honest, it's gonna be a one-time use, and I don't think I'd waste the filament on that. You're better off just getting some HDPE and making the block molds like I do, or if you have a way to mill them out, I guess you could route those out if you don't have a CNC. Just get a big chunk of it and just, you know, route out the HDPE. That'd be kind of the same thing. But yeah, no, those are not 3D printed. Let's see, who else is here? And Doug is here. I got to use your tool. Did you see the post? I love that tool. That thing's awesome for taking the chuck off. How do you segment pens? You like to make fun of me while I'm not looking. Well, that's fine. I like that. Hey, Christina's here. Ramblin' Rector and Jim. Nice. Dominic. All kinds of people. And Steve. Okay, yeah, so yeah, those are not 3D printed. It's a big block of HDPE material that has been CNC'd out, basically, for those. And then I make, you know, just the, where you get like sheets of it, and you just, you know, screw it together, basically, like that, for big block molds. That's pretty easy. But yeah, I don't think that I would really recommend going for, I don't know. My problem is, you know, if there's any area where it's not fully sealed with just a normal FDM printer, it's gonna leak. So like I just don't think I would do that personally. Russ from Michigan, nice. All right, so let's get started. I'll quit yakking at you guys. I'm gonna be, because I'm trying to get a video made of this thing. Like I said, I already did all the me putting it together stuff, and it's not a talking video. I just kind of showed the steps, but I figured I'd get my other, you know, my iPhone out and shoot video while we're going. So I might be kind of stopping and doing stuff trying to get video. The problem is I can't really use the video from this feed. It's complicated, but it's much easier for me just to use my iPhone. So I'm going to try and get a few shots, not too in depth, since people can watch the entire thing if they really want later here on the live stream replay. But I want to get a few shots so I can kind of wrap that video up, and that way you guys can kind of see me putting this thing together. But I am super excited. Look at that. I really like the red and the dark. I'm going to hit this with some denatured alcohol real quick. And I actually, the picture, I did a little bit of photo cheating. I hit it with a little bit of alcohol first, but man, look at that. So that's what we're going to be looking at once this thing is done, and we put, you know, I'll probably put a CA finish on this, but that Madrone just, woo! And so a big thank you to Frank for hooking me up with these Madrone Burl chunks. These things are awesome. And I have a few other blanks. We don't have any more of the ones with red, but we did these on the live stream earlier. So I'm going to turn the dust collector on. I'm going to get this other camera. I also need to turn a light on for a minute here. And I'm going to get a few shots. Like I said, I'm going to just kind of stop and do a little stop and go kind of action. But it shouldn't, I don't think, cause any problems. All right, so let me just make sure that this thing's nice and set up. Turn this guy up. I'm just going to use my negative rate carbide. We should be pretty good here. So I didn't have any problems drilling this. The only thing is this plastic stuff in the middle is a little bit kind of softer, and I did have to kind of clear that off, and the metal stuff when I was drilling. That might have also had to do with having a brad point bit. I got those pretty aggressive, is it Fuller I believe is the brand. Pretty aggressive bits. And so it was no big deal. I just had to, you know, I got like a little circle disc thing and some of that plastic stuff kind of clogged up in there, and I just had to kind of take it off, no big deal. But other than that, everything drilled and went fine. And so I actually already have a link to this material. I went with the 3mm wide. They also have a 2mm. I don't know if that's going to be that much different, but I kind of wanted wider, I thought. And this blank is going to be for an Athens pen kit. It's a single, it's actually kind of cool. It's a single blank kit, kind of, you know, kind of like a Sierra sort of, but it's a roller ball. So it has a cap, magnetic cap. Try to kind of show you guys. So this is just kind of the base part. It's just got a little doohickey for the end there. I don't know if you guys can really see that very well. But the nib and the cap are magnetic. So it just has this little doohickey and it just magnetic. And it takes a rollerball refill. Like, you know, just like the two-piece, like the juniors and stuff. So I thought this would be a pretty cool kit for this blank. One problem is I can't see the chat, unfortunately. So that sucks. I'll try to kind of get through as much as possible with the camera, and then one thing that I'm noticing is that this plastic stuff is a little bit softer feeling. So, you know, the burl's pretty hard and that stuff's pretty soft, so I'm going to have to kind of watch out a little bit on that, but not a big deal. Just wanted to kind of mention it. I really need to get a new cutter because this thing's kind of dead, but I don't have any more. I might have a few little voids in this. I think for something like this blank where it's all cracked and all like that, I really kind of think that it might have been a smarter idea to go with a slow setting resin for that, to let it kind of soak it up. I just think it's kind of a smarter way to go. It wasn't that bad, and it's not like a slow setting resin is going to get in areas that you couldn't get, you know, where it's just the resin can't reach it. So it's not like it's going to solve all the problems, but, you know, how does everyone, so I'm looking at the chat real quick, guys. Sorry about that. Doohickey. Doodad. Oh, nice. How does everybody judge? It doesn't cut as well. You can kind of tell. It's just not cutting super awesome. I'm just kind of scrolling. All right, it looks like I don't think I missed anything super important. All right, I'm going to raise this up and I'm going to go flat from now on. I've got it rounded at this point, pretty much. It's a little high. All right, so now I'm going to get another, I'm going to move my cameras around here a little bit. You guys can probably end up seeing the other camera. Just gonna get a couple shots. This isn't gonna be like a super spectacular video. Just kind of a quickie, you know. A lot going on here. This will give you guys an indication of how long it takes to shoot videos. All the setup and messing around takes a while. The aluminum cuts a little bit slower as well. Actually, yeah, we're getting there. A couple little cracks there that I may need to fill with a little bit of CA. But the rest of the blank's looking pretty good though. few little areas that are going to need a little bit of filling. We're gonna get another camera angle here. That's what I get for standing 5 feet from the lathe and trying to get a camera in there. Jumping around, not in control. So what's everybody up to today? It's Wednesday. Wednesday. Yeah, there's a link down in the show notes. I got the 3mm. These are actually pretty wide. I'm actually kind of thinking I definitely want to look at the 2mm. You know, it's not that much difference. I think 2 might actually be a little bit better looking. It's just a little bit tighter. Yeah. So Dustin, the segments, it's stuff that you can get from Turner's Warehouse. Watching me, of course. Rich is relaxing. What's QCing Orion's? I'm not sure what QCing is. It's nearly Thursday there, yeah, I bet. 13 hours of it. Oh, no. Seeing how much silicone is going to cost you? Well, if you use my link, you get 10% off. If you haven't used it yet from Illumilite, I would probably go with their like one of the more flexible high strengths. That's a tin cure, or one of the lower platinums probably. I don't think that the Plat 55 was really the best. It worked fine. I mean, it's doing the job, but I think that a more flexible one would be a lot better. A lot easier to demold everything. I always end up getting all these bumps and craziness in these longer blanks. It takes me a while to get everything kind of settled down on these. And you could use a regular cutting tool on this. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. This is probably not sharp. But it'll cut the aluminum just fine. If that's what you got. You don't have to get carbide or anything like that. Aluminum turns great. right, so how's this looking? Let me, a little bumpy. A little bumpy still. Almost gotten this was a kind of a big crack right there. That one's smaller now too, so I'll have to do a little bit of filling. There's a couple little pits here and there. This is a pretty decent sized one right there, but I got a lot of material to take off still. Definitely could use, actually, you know what? I'm gonna try a regular cutter, because that probably would actually cut better in this material. Let me grab one. There's nothing wrong with the negative rate cutters, but the regular cutters generally do fine, you know. It's probably what I would generally pull out for mostly wood blanks. So let's give that a shot, see what it feels like. That cuts the wood a little bit better, I would say. Just a little bit smoother. Plus, this is brand new, so that also, you know, is going to make it cut nice. The negative rate cutters generally they're best used for, you know, like full resin or like really brittle stuff. They work great on stabilized woods as well, but this is stabilized, but it's still just a little bit softer. It's just kind of a little bit more of a full wood blank. So not a bad idea if you got a regular cutter hanging around. You know, don't be afraid to stick that on and go to town with it. Because it is working pretty good. I'm going to switch back to the regular cutter. All the people that just watch the video of this, they're not going to even know. They're not going to get that tip. They're going to be like, why did he use a negative rate cutter? See if I can find a sharper edge on this negative rake, see if it changes anything. I don't really think there are any. I think I've rotated this one. You know what I think I'm going to start doing? One of the tough things about these cutters is sometimes you don't necessarily know where you've cut, and I think what I'm going to do is actually just Sharpie the entire edge. And I'm guessing that when you start cutting with one edge of that, it's going to probably rub off that Sharpie. So I think, I don't know, I'm going to try that out. Just, it'd be nice to be able to like know for sure, you know, what parts have you used. Let's stop and see what you guys are saying. No, I didn't catch the. I don't have my phone is hooked up to video right now, so I don't have any way of looking at the chat. I'm just kind of trying to come over here and See what's happening. Yeah, I haven't. I'm not comfortable. I'm not going to do the. I'm comfortable doing the skew thing with the negative rate cutters because they just don't catch. But every time I used to do that with the regular cutters, it was not good. So, Josh, the segmenting stuff. There's a link down in the show notes. It's on Turner's Warehouse. All right. I don't know if I didn't see your question, Chad. Sorry about that, but. Let's see if we can get another action shot. Oh, my light's being not very nice. I got 2 cameras, a light, all kinds of stuff going on right here. Yeah, see, I can tell that I think it's the left side of this is way more dull than of my cutter is much more dull than the other side. So I'm going to give it another rotation here. It's just not really, it's not awesome. I meant to order some more, just forgot to. I tend to do that. Okay, how are we looking now? All right, at this point, I'm gonna fill those cracks. I'm gonna turn this air cleaner thing off because it's killing me. So I'm gonna try and kind of get you guys a little bit closer here to see the CA glue getting applied here. Zoom you guys in a little bit. And I'm going to try to do the same thing with the other camera right under it. Kind of explain, I didn't really go into an explanation, but it's hard because I can't, the only way to get the footage off of from this live stream footage is to download the entire thing and load that into my video editing software, and it's just a pain. So we're just gonna go with 2 cameras. I think it'll be easier. All right, let me stop real quick before we move on, and I'm gonna check what's going on in the chat. We'll just give it a little bit of a glimpse. Yeah, I think the Sharpie works nice. Yeah, I wanted to. No, I don't want to. I want to make sure that I get through this one. I'll test that stuff out some other time with the regular. I don't know why. I never got good results when I was using the regular cutters. I have a lot more confidence with the negative rake ones. Clear. I have links on my website for the clear PVC pipes. I don't. It's some company that's in LA area, I think, something like that. Oh, thanks, Ann. Ann already covered that. Yeah, Turner's Warehouse has the stoppers. They sell PVC pipes, but they're just the white ones. So, James, what's up? Hey, thanks for sharing that link, Jen. I appreciate it. All right, so what was I doing here? Oh yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of CA glue filling. So I'm just gonna use I like using the gel. It seems to work pretty good, the Loctite gel type. I really need to get a light clamp thing. And actually, I just ordered a different setup. I really like the thing that holds my phone on my tripod, but the problem is I want something that'll go on the top of it, like like the cold shoe or whatever they call that clamp thing. So that's actually probably delivered right now at my house. So I'm just gonna go with the clear. I could have maybe dyed this or something, but I think it's gonna be okay just using clear. I'm going to fill any little crack that I can find, because I'm going to have to do it later anyway. There's just a couple little pits and things. And what I'm going to do, what I like to do is just apply this, and then I come back with a little pick kind of tool thing and just kind of spread it around and try and make sure that it's getting down in there and I'm not just kind of spreading it over the top. Doesn't always work, but you could probably just somehow apply like a medium or something like that and just kind of try to force it in while it's spinning. I don't know, maybe some of you guys that turn pens and do CA finish stuff, do you guys do that? I find that it gets all over the bushings when I do that, usually. But it is a method. It is a way to do it that may be a little easier than what I'm doing here. I don't know. I usually stay away from doing that though, because that's how you get bushings. If you just glob a ton of CA glue on, that's how you get bushings stuck. If you leave the metal ones on. All right, so I apply a little bit and then hit it with accelerator, let it kind of cure for a sec. Then I'll turn it a little bit and then kind of see how I did. Man, so I hit it with that accelerator stuff, and the deep like brown tones of this Madrone are just awesome. Looking good. I don't know how well I did on that one. We'll have to see. All right, let's turn the air back on. little bit right there. I gotta get a real light going on here. I think it filled it pretty well, actually. I might be able to turn away this one in the middle. Center's kind of thick anyway. This thing's looking pretty awesome. What do you guys think about this? Oh, I kind of had it zoomed in forever, huh? Got another little pit right there, dang it. That one came after the fact. So we'll just treat this the same way. Still there. Dang it. Thought I handled that one. I guess not really. Now we got it. All right, I'm gonna stop, take a peek at the chat. What are you guys doing in the chat right now? You guys, are you making fun of me? Put CA then fine sand? No. I mean, no, not really. A little thin on top of medium. That's an interesting idea. One thing that I like to do usually is I like to hit it with thin first because that penetrates down in. And if there are any, I use that method for, like if there's any problems with the blanks, then kind of helps. I don't know. I think it just depends on what accelerator it is. Some of them seem to kick harder. Oh yeah, open up the pick. The thing is, I don't really want to open them up anymore because I didn't paint the tubes. There's actually one little area. There's one spot where you can actually see the tube because I didn't dye this CA glue. So I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for that, and that's probably where the clip's gonna go. All right, so let me get this stuff cleared off. That didn't seem to do anything. Let's try it one more time. Okay, let's see what we got. I think we got all the little things filled now. That one's good. That one's good. A couple right there. Still got a little bit of a bump down here. Like I said, I'm still going to put a CA finish on top of this, so I can fix up any issues when we're actually putting the finish on it. We're not there yet. We still got to sand and do some stuff. But man, this thing's looking pretty cool. I love all these little red fiery things. Turn that off. Okay, I think we got it good. And I got a little bit of work to do trimming up the ends of these bushings here. So I'm going to pull this other thing out here. Yeah, I think this negative rate cutter is just kind of dull, because when I find a good spot on the cutter, it cuts really well actually. So I need to not be so cheap and just go get me some some new cutters. Still a little bit proud on this one, and still got a little tiny nibble to get. Okay, I think we're good here. I'm going to give it a couple passes with the R2 cutter, and I'm going to look at this cutter and see if there's one brand new edge on this one. Even that one, I'm not sure. Let's see, do I have a brand new one? Oh, I got a brand new cutter. This is going to be no question. I got a brand new R2, guys. I think two of the edges on this thing were okay anyway. Let's do the Sharpie thing. Let's see how that works. Well, let's see, where's my Sharpie at? So I don't know how I'm gonna hold this thing while I'm doing this. They got to make things so difficult. All right, turn that off. So I'm just gonna paint the edge of this thing. And the idea is, I'm guessing that'll get rubbed away. As we go. So basically the idea is if there's Sharpie, then that's a fresh edge. I'm sure there are way easier ways to do this than what I'm doing, but we're getting there. All right, so we'll see how that works. I don't know. Especially on the circle cutters, though, you just kind of don't really know what's going on with what edges. It's kind of hard to tell, I find. I don't know if this is brilliant or not. Hopefully it'll be helpful, though. So I'm putting a new cutter on here because I want to make sure that I get a really good cut to finish this up here. I'm going to bring the other camera in as well. Try and get this like final pass. Just one more cut, everybody. Just one more cut. That's when tragedy strikes. Every time. Okay, here we go. Okay. And show you guys what the cutter looks like. Hold on. Turn this thing off. God, it's so loud in my ear. So it just nibbled off a little bit. That's where I was hitting it with, right on the edge there. So I think this is a good method. I would recommend, you know, when you get a new cutter, hit it with a Sharpie, and I think that you're going to be a lot better off. At least you'll know. Yeah, you dropped in at a good point, I think. All right, so now let's do a little bit of sanding. I'm happy, you know, with how this is. Now, one thing, again, this plastic stuff, I don't know that you really want to be sanding a lot on that. I think it's going to sand fast. It's definitely going to sand faster than this metal, you know. So this is one of those areas where, you know, you're really better off. If you can nail, you know, like a perfect finish, if you're one of those people that can pull a skew out or whatever and just get like a perfect flawless finish, this is the time to do it, you know, and that way you can start. It works a lot better if you have different material types. It works a lot better if you can start sanding at a much higher grit. Otherwise, you know, the lower grits, they tend to, you know, really eat away that soft material fast. So that, and again, this is one of the reasons why I don't really like putting wood, especially stabilized wood, with Alumilite white resin, because it's much softer and it just sands away faster than the wood does. So let me I'm going to start. The problem is this thing's kind of bumpy. Like I don't know how well I did there. I could maybe spend a little bit more time trying to get it perfect, I guess, but let's just see how this, I'm kind of curious to see how this sands, how it goes. So let me get real quick, I need to reset the tripod up for the other camera. All right, I'm gonna move you guys over here a little bit. This is just the sanding part anyway. Nothing special. And then I'm gonna put light over here. And then I'm gonna put this one here. I think we got it. All right. Doesn't seem to be, yeah, there's a little indentation there, I think, but it's not really that bad. It's not terrible. But I was also being pretty careful. So I started at 180. Whoa. Now we're moving up to 240 grit. If I can find one. I'd have to cut a new one. I'll just cut a new one. And then I'm gonna go to 400, maybe 600, and then we'll put our finish on. And then 600, I gotta find a piece of that. There's some. I'm going to hit those two black plastic pieces with a kind of a spongy, it's like a Scotch-Brite type material. If I can find it. Where do I have that stuff? You could use like maybe an abrasive pad of some sort as well. Just want to try and kind of polish that up a little bit before we put a finish on. So this is called Abralon, I want to say, or what's it called? Merlon. I don't know why they have such weird names, but it's a Mirka product. It's basically just a super fine Scotch-Brite pad. So let's see what we got. I got a little bit of like a metal shaving or something in the black stuff. I don't know, that's one issue. That's why another reason why I'm kind of thinking maybe the 2mm might be a little better in this case, because that stuff is pretty soft. So just kind of be aware of that. All right, let's turn this thing off. Turn my camera off. different type of angle with my other camera in a second here. Try to anyway. Okay. Got the camera angle. All right, so let's put a CA finish on this. I'm going to stop real quick, see what you guys are up to in the chat room, see what's happening. All right, Brad. Yeah, I'll have it up, the replay later on. I might go through this one and kind of cut out some of the slow parts. Paul's out of here. Thanks for joining the fun. All right, looks like you guys are just chatting among yourselves. Let's put some CA on this. I gotta get me some paper towels. So I'm gonna use my, let's see, I think in this case, I'm not gonna mess around with, I don't really need anything filled, I don't think, like thin, super thin. So I'm just gonna go with our Thin Flex, my finish. One that I use for finishes. I like it best for finish. It's just the best one that I've found. I'm going to turn the fan on as well behind me just to kind of blow the CA fumes away from me. Turn this on low. I think I'm actually going to get this thing out of the way as well. Okay. Let's do this. Ooh, man. And I usually let the first coat just soak in and dry, cure without accelerator. Man, that's looking pretty sweet. Woo. Look at that. Now, I could have also hit this with a little bit of oil first, probably. Or this would be a decent use for like the pastes and stuff, you know, that have oils and waxes in them. The only, well, actually, I guess in this case, you can't put a CA finish over those pastes, but just hitting it with a little bit of oil would have been not bad, a bad idea. Might have brought out some richer tones possibly, but CA glue usually does too. So I typically don't put oils and things on and then CA. I usually find that it works fine just as is. Let me just make sure that this is not sticky anymore. Okay, we're good. I usually use the back of my finger to do that because I don't have oils and stuff on them. And then from here on out, I use the acceleration. Suppose I should zoom you guys out a little bit. Somebody was talking about mixing different CA glues and accelerators, and I don't really find that there's a problem mixing mercury accelerator with other things. I think the problem you run into is some of the accelerators they activate certain different brands faster. But this one's pretty mild. It's meant to not be super, it's kind of meant for this type of thing where you don't want it to be like, immediate. It works immediately, but some of them are pretty aggressive. Like they make it like crackle, and one that comes to mind is the Stickfast brand. That their accelerator, it accelerates it like it's boom, like quick. So you might run into some issues with certain CA brands using, an aggressive accelerator. Hopefully that kind of made sense. Man, that's looking pretty good. I got to see what you guys think. I'm going to stop my other video. I'll get you a straight on shot in a second. Classy. Hey, there's Frank. Frank supplied the wood for this. Hey, how's it going, Frank? I don't have I'm using my camera right now, so I don't have a chat so I'm stopping and going back. Yeah, Stickfast. A lot of people have issues with Stickfast. It just seems that I never had any problems with it. It worked fine. I do think that for a finish, like Mercury, and I found the Bob Smith brand, their Gold Flex or something. It was some kind of gold something. They seem clearer. It just seemed like a clearer finish. I don't know. It looks hot. What resins? Yeah, so I used the Lumelite Clear Slow Set, and it was a little bit cool in the shop when I did it. So, it had a good 12, 13, 14 minutes open time. I would probably go with, whatever you use. I would go with a thin one. This is why I like liquid diamonds. It's a very thin viscosity resin, and so it's a good one for this. So it's got the open time and it's very thin. Lumelite Clear is actually really thin too. It's a pretty thin viscosity resin, but that way it'll kind of go, it'll get in and penetrate. Now I don't know if a slow setting resin would have helped necessarily in this case. I did have a couple of little pits and things, I think you've been watching the whole time. So I don't know if it was just a matter of it couldn't reach some areas, and in that case, it doesn't really make any difference what resin you use or how long the open time is. But I would probably lean towards a slower setting one if you had a choice, if you could pick whatever you wanted. But Lumelite Clear obviously worked fine. So if I had to pick, I would, and again, this is also why I like Lumelite Clear Slow Set, because it can generally it just generally works a little bit better for like a wider variety of things, especially when you have to do this. The fast set or the regular set version, 5 to 7 minutes with very small little kind of, pores that it's trying to fill, that may not really be the best option. Probably would work, but, you're just kind of better off going with something on the slower, I think. Slower end of the scale. All right, so I'm going to hit it with a little bit of 400 grit. Real quick here. I like to just kind of do a little bit of sanding as I go. I put on about 4 coats, and you can see those little black things are low. So this may be a case where I'm going to have to kind of put a ton of, it depends on how I want to do this. If I really care that much, I would want to just keep putting coats on this until the CA basically fills in that kind of dip. That would be like the best way to go, I don't know that it really matters, I don't know. It just depends on your perspective, I guess. if you're going for like a perfect pen, then I would say that, you know, really best to kind of fill those little dips. I don't know that it's really going to be that big of a deal though either. I don't know. I think I'm going to try and fill them. So I'm going to sand this back a little bit more than I normally would. We'll try and fill those little dips. Okay, more CA. Where did my... I guess I ran out of the paper towel. Okay. We're going to go for super fast. So I'm just trying to kind of add layers and kind of try and fill those little dips. So I'm going faster than I normally would because I'm going to just sand this off anyway, mostly. I think it's starting to fill in a little bit. Let me let that just kind of cure up a little bit while we're waiting for that to set a little bit more. I'll go and check out. Yeah, CA is a good one. It can be a pain. It took me a while to get decent at it, but it's funny. It's one of those things where it's really not that hard, and I don't know why. Well, I know why I struggled with it for so long. I was using pen mandrels that were bent, and if the thing's out of round, you're always going to sand through. And so you just the game is you just want to get it on there as evenly as possible, not too many bumps and ridges. Otherwise, you're just going to sand a lot of it off. So if you can get it on as smooth as possible, it's a pretty simple way to go. There's different methods. I prefer just putting on a lot of thin coats. Some people just slather on, you know, a pretty thick coat and then kind of sand that back. That's not a bad way to go. I don't like doing that personally because that's how you get your bushings stuck. By putting on a few thin coats and then sanding in the middle, I really just don't get things stuck to my bushings that often. So. Depends on your OCD level. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, it's a little bit more than that. It's going to look better. You know, I think the problem with this is if you don't get your finish, like a top coat gloss finish flat, actually, now the more I think about this, you really want to fill that because otherwise it's going to look kind of funky. It's not going to look glossy like that, I guess. No, I don't think the CA will come off of there. I mean, it's actually, what did Kim say? CDO. Oh no. Nice. What was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying at this point. All right, so let's do a little sanding. You guys are getting crazy. Ooh, I think I filled it. Ooh, all right, so probably one more round, and I'll have that I think this one's actually pretty much filled. So what I'm doing is I'm sanding quite a bit off because I want to reduce, you know, there's a low spot, and so I'm trying to sand the rest of it off to kind of bring everything even. They're actually pretty close. I do have a little pit there that I think I'm going to fill. A little divot there maybe, yeah. A little bit there. So I'm going to fill these things. I mean, if I'm going to go for it, let's go for it, right? Let's not mess around. Let's fill all these little divots. Otherwise, they're going to stick out like a sore thumb. I'm going to get my light back in here too, so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit more sanding before I start that though. And again, trying to bring the like surface level of the high spots down as far as possible. And that also includes for those little divot things. Those darn divots, they're trying to get me. This is the one nice thing about acrylic blanks or, you know, resin blanks. They don't really have divots unless you got air pockets in them for some reason. Great, you know, filling grain on a wood blank is it requires a little bit more fussing about when you're putting a finish on. You can kind of get around that by just using like a friction polish or something like that, but or just oil, but I think a glossy protective finish on this is going to be a lot nicer. Oh, I think that must have had some accelerator on there. Okay, well, I'm going to hit it with another little round of accelerator. Because these are like big chunks, I'm actually going to hit this with the tool. It's going to be a lot easier just to kind of very carefully nibble that off on the outsides and then come back. See how I did. Pretty good on most of it. Still got a little bit left down here. Okay. Still got some left. Dang it. All right, now I think I can sand the rest of that off. Still got a little bit of a bump there, and I'm not really doing a very good job taking it off with that 400 grit. So try and kind of nibble that away, like I said. I can. Still got a little bit left in there. Still got some on this end too. It's a process, guys. It's a process. There we go. Okay, now we got everything smoothed out again. Slow that down. So I'm just going to hit this with the 400 again and just get it all the way across. And I know that I realize that I may have sanded all of it off, and that's fine. I don't really care. What we're trying to do is get everything nice and level, get all those divots filled, and then, you know, at that point, once the thing is, you got a totally flat surface, or as near flat as your OCD will allow for, or lack thereof. You know, once it's smooth, then you really don't have to put on a bunch of coats or anything like that. You know, 4 coats and you're good, I would say. So let me look at this thing. Still got a couple little shiny spots, which means that indicates a kind of a low spot, but I think that we'll be able to cover that up. I think we're okay. So let's continue on here with our finish coats. I like to just kind of blow it off, make sure none of that paper towel stuff ended up kind of sticking to it. You don't want like little what is it called, lint stuff kind of hanging on. That's just not very nice. That's actually another thing that I like about turning a fan on when I'm doing like finishes like this, a top coat type. It actually, what I notice is if I turn the light on, a really bright light, I can kind of see little dust particles floating around if there's no fan. But if you have a fan on, as long as there's not dust that it's picking up and blowing at your piece, it kind of blows dust that's maybe just lingering in the air away from it. And I think it might actually, I don't know how big a deal it is, but I mean, I can visibly see stuff. Now, again, it may pick up stuff and blow it into it, and so that kind of defeats the purpose, I guess. But man, that's looking pretty sweet. Okay, so let's see, we're gonna do, did I hit it with the accelerator? Yep, okay. I'm gonna do four coats. I think we'll be ready to go. I mean, there might be a couple little minor things here and there, but I'm like I always felt like, you know, a B, like in school, if I get a B+, that's good enough, right? B+, that's all you need. You're above average. I mean, it's not like you're just, you know, an average person. You're above that. The amount of effort it takes to get to the A range, man. Difference between the effort that you have to put into getting a B+ and an A, night and day. All right, so one more coat here, and I'm gonna actually get the camera set back up again to try to get this like final coat, because that's important. See if I can do that here somehow. Okay, so I'm gonna scoot you guys over just a little bit further. Scoot the light over. And then get this guy in here. I should really get the other camera so you can see me messing around with all this stuff. Okay, film. And final coat. All right, I think I did pretty decent. Looks like it's on there, you know, relatively smooth. You're still gonna have to smooth it out with sanding and polishing, but there's no getting around that really. But I think I did pretty darn good. But it's a lot easier. I think this is the other thing, you know, people that haven't really gotten into, you know, doing CA finishes. The smoother that you start out, you know, with your surface, the easier it is to put a CA finish on. If you got a bunch of grain or bumps or, you know, if there's a lot of stuff going on that you got to fill, then it's going to take, you know, a little bit more time. And once that surface is, you know, nice and smooth, then you're good to go. It's easy. Put a few coats on and you're done. Whew, man. I am digging this thing. I've never made anything quite like this before. So it is pretty exciting. All right, hit it with a little bit of 400 here. And I'm gonna try to be as light as possible with the 400. That's my lowest grit that I'm gonna use when I'm finishing up here. I just wanna knock down any bumps, you know, any ridges or anything like that in the finish. Any shiny spots, basically. So I got a few here, but just kind of, you know, get everything kind of smoothed out, and then it's just a matter of polishing. I think that's almost there. Oh, trying to speed up. So minimum, whoops, well, we didn't need that anymore anyway. I just flicked it away. We're done with that one. Now we're gonna pull out the polishing papers, the wet sanding. So, whoop, oops, let's see. That right there. I'm gonna pass on the ShamWow today. I need to go and empty this water out because it is disgusting. So I'll be right back. I should really have like a while we're waiting video thing while I'm emptying the water out or doing something else. Give you guys something to look at. That's what I need to come up with. Wouldn't mind having running water back in my area too. That would make this water filling time go a lot faster. It's okay though, I'm back. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna stop and look at see what you guys are chatting about. Chat. All right, James, thanks for joining, man. Honor roll. Well, I graduated with honors, quote unquote, but I didn't have a 4.0. Art's here. What's up, man? Buff that baby. Yeah, that's what I plan to do. Okay, so number one, we're going to start with a little bit of the green. I don't have a clue which one is new, so I'm going to go get a new one. I kind of tend, like I was saying, I kind of tend to go through like sandpapers and things like this very fast because I'm like, I don't know, that one looks kind of funky. I don't know if it's good anymore. I'd rather err on the side of go grab a new piece. But those cutters are not super cheap, so I don't really want to err on the side of paying a lot for cutters. So I like that Sharpie idea. I think that's going to hopefully help. And hopefully it'll help you guys out too. Let me know if you like that or if that works for you guys. I'm just thinking it's probably going to, I don't know. It just seems like for me, the way that I do things, if I can just have a visual cue, I think that's going to make things a lot easier for me. The only issue is if something funky happens, and I don't know how that would happen. If the Sharpie rubs off somehow, if you wiped it down or dripped water on it, or I guess water probably wouldn't rub off Sharpie, but acetone or denatured alcohol would. I don't know. We'll have to see how it works though. All right, let me stop and take a peek at this thing. See what I'm going to dry it off and see what the scratch marks are looking like. I don't want to sand more than I have to. I want to sand as much as I need to and then be done. I think that's good. I'm going to switch to my gray. So this green one was I think it's around 750 grit, something like that. The gray one is about 1150 or so. Okay, I think that's probably good. Take a peek at it. Can't really tell, looks fine. And then blue, I have no clue what blue is, probably somewhere around 2000 or something like that. 1500 to 2000 in that neighborhood. I used to just stop at the gray. The Tripoli wheel, buffing wheel, will take out the scratches. Pretty much, if you can get it to just that green, if the scratches on the blank, whether it's just acrylic or finish, CA finish, if you can get it definitely to that 750 grit, then if you spend enough time, the buffing wheels will take care of those scratches. For me, I've found that anyway. But it will kind of make, if you can get it up to around 2000, it's going to make that, oops, I don't need to do that. It's going to make that buffing, you're not going to have to spend as much time even buffing it. Oh man, that's looking pretty wicked, guys. I'm digging it. All right, so I'm going to scoot you guys back. We're going to head over to the buffing wheels. And I'll show you my little trick. Most of you guys know this one. Show you my little trick on how to get my bushings off if they are kind of stuck. Usually they get a little stuck. But if you only put thin coats on and sand in between, you generally sand enough off to where you're just kind of barely chipping it. Just need to kind of pop it loose. Okay, so that off of there. Let's see if that one came out. That one's good. And this other one's a little bit, oh, that one came out too. I don't even need to show you my trick, but what I am going to show you guys is how I clean up. You don't want to just leave those ends scraggly. I don't know if this one has any Let me flip the doohickey back. I don't know if there's really a bad edge down on there anywhere, but what I'm going to do is just square up these ends so that I don't have to worry about any extra CA glue kind of hanging off the end. Because if there is bits of CA glue, when you go to, well, a couple things. When you're buffing it, it could catch that possibly, but when you go to assemble your pen, then, and if there's like stuff hanging off, if like, you know, the edge is kind of hanging over of your CA finish, then pretty guaranteed to get your finish cracked. It's going to crack that finish up when you press the part in there. So, and that didn't happen to me that often, but it happened a couple times and I was like, I'm done. Like I'm just going to do this on every single pen, regardless of how it looks, because that is the worst. There is absolutely nothing worse than cracking the finish when you're assembling. And you can still crack it if you're pressing the part in and it's kind of going crooked, that can crack a finish too. So you do have to still be careful, but if there's extra material, excess CA glue, you're guaranteed to crack it, and that just, ugh. It's the worst. It's the worst, guys. Okay, so I'm going to get you guys, this time I'm going to actually get, I have another light set up, so I'm going to get you guys in a better position than normal. Usually just kind of turn the camera around. This time I'm going to get you guys in the action. Okay. And let's see here. That should be pretty good, I think. Go get the other one. Get it in here somehow. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. What does that look like? That's not too bad. Okay, here we go. I got to put my mask on. You don't really want to be breathing the buffing rouge dust. It's an abrasive particle that you don't really want in your lungs. Slow that down a little bit. So first wheel's triple E. Got to turn my camera on. Actually, another thing I got to do. Set the autofocus, or turn off autofocus. Oh yeah, this is going to be a nice looking pen, I think. And so for anybody that's just joining the fun, what I'm making here is an Athens, is that right? Athens pen kit. And it's kind of cool. It's a single blank, you know. Usually the single blank ones are ballpoint, but this one comes with a magnetic cap. And so we get a single blank roller ball. Not too shabby. Never made one of these before. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. One of the Athens pens. Never used that kit before. Okay. Do a little A little extra on the top here. And we'll switch to the white diamond. Let me see what my camera's doing here. I'm actually going to kind of switch views really quickly. Okay. That's not very good. Come up. All right. Okay, here we go. White diamond. Whoa. Okay. And realistically, I could stop right here. I mean, it's pretty shiny. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to go and hit it with some car polish. Let's do it. Just to let you guys know also, so the Athens pen kit, is that right? Athens, is that right what I said? It uses one of the bushings. So if for some reason you had, which I did, if you have two sets of the Junior Gent 2 bushings, it uses the, I'm pretty sure, I didn't go out and buy them. I used my calipers, and it looked like the large size, okay, so on a Junior Gent, there's the two big ones, which are the cap, and then there's two pieces that are two bushings. One's for the like nib of the body of the pen. One's for the like end, whatever that is, finial. I don't know if that's what it's called, but basically I think it just uses two of the nib side of a Junior. And so luckily I actually had two sets of those Junior Gent TBC bushings. So that's what I used. They do sell a set of them for the Athens kit, but you could get away with, if you for some reason had two sets of Junior bushings, you'd be good to go. All right, so I really need to get that I think I'm gonna buy one of the Beal string buffs and try and mount it on that other thing that I have over there, because it's kind of a pain. Either that, or I'm just gonna go with all the wheels, use this tapered mandrel. I don't know. We'll have to see. All right. So this is a string buff. It's super fine, soft, I should say, super soft, and it works great for this, for like a super high polish, like car polish. I actually tried a white diamond wheel with car polish, and I didn't get the same results. So the wheel kind of, you want to match the wheel softness to the high, how high the grit is, or whatever, what your grit level is for the root buffing rouge, or whatever polish. Okay, so that's not what I want to do. Give this a little bit of a shake. Let's see here. Let me zoom this out. Just gonna do that. I'm just going to add just a little bit of this polish to this paper towel. I'm going to kind of dab it in, and I'm just going to kind of wipe it all over this blank here. We'll go about 1300 RPMs. It just adds a little bit more gloss to these things. Man, that's looking good. All right, hold on real quick, guys. I'm gonna do a little clip for the this camera, and then I'll give you guys the same clip. Oh, it's not working. Honestly, work with me, cameras. Huh? Is the autofocus on? What the heck is going on here? There we go. Okay. Woohoo! Now let's get you guys in here, take a peek at this thing, because it's looking pretty sharp, I think. And got too many things going on here. I'm gonna angle you guys down. It seems to work better if I just kind of angle it down that way. I mean, it's glossy, glossified, flossy. Woo! Okay, let's assemble this guy. Not much going on with the assembly of this thing either, since it's just a single blank. I'm going to toss this thing in the little tool bin while we're here. Let's put this stuff away. That away. All right, now let's see if we can get some action shots over here. I'm going to use my handy dandy drill press pen assembly tool. Let's get this thing out of the way. I really need to get, do you guys know of any like drill press holds your vacuum hose things for like dust collection? I don't know exactly. I'm sure that there's some thing you can buy. I just think it'd be really, really wonderful if I could just have my shop vac hose held in place while I'm drilling stuff. It'd be awesome. So let me know if you guys know of that. Something like that. Okay, let's get a light over here somewhere. Okay, zoom in a little bit further. So, Athens pen kit. That's what we're doing here. Let me get all the little components. I'm going to get some gloves on, and I'll show you all these. I'm pretty excited about this kit. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a kind of a cool kit. So I'll show you guys all the little components and all that once I get my gloves on. And then we'll assemble this guy. Let me stop and see what's going on in the chat here. I feel weird not being able to just look at my phone. don't put hashtag comments. I think that's only on real videos, like the regular videos or whatever, not streams. Although I don't know. So I got this at Turner's Warehouse. I'll have to let me get a link to it. I'm surprised I didn't. Why didn't I think of that? I should have done that beforehand. Pretty cool kit though. So let me get the parts out here real quick. The end part, whatever the one side. Let's see, how does this work? So here's like the back side. I gotta zoom out a little bit here. So this thing is where like the back side of it, and it screws into this little, hold on a minute. I'm trying to look in the viewfinder and it's just not working, guys. I think I'm doing it backwards. That's what okay. So this little piece, and I know there's not very good lighting here, but that's going to be the back end of it. It's got the little spring for the rollerball thing. So I'm going to do that a little bit later. I'm going to just press this part in before. And then the other side, the nib side, it's a rollerball. And so it needs a cap. Let me pull that off. But it's got a magnetic cap. I know it's not really focused here. See that? Magnetic cap and a little nib. So it's just a one blank kit, but it's got some coolness to it. All right, so let's get things rolling here with the cameras. Get all this junk out of the way. All right, let me look at this blank. I don't really think it's going to make any difference how I do anything, but I am going to look at this and just see if there's one way that I like better for the nib. I guess there's actually no clip. So this is not a good kit if you need to hide something on your blank. There's no clip, I don't think. I don't think it's going to cover any part of your blank. It's all on that cap. So that's something to keep in mind. You'll have to kind of do something else. So I don't think it really makes any difference how I do this. I'm just going to hit the play button here. And then we're going to cinch this guy down on that end. And then we'll cinch this guy down on this end. It's very simple. Not much going on with this kit. Definitely needs some wax. I'm going to go get some wax real quick. I don't like squeaky threads. There's nothing worse than squeaky threads. Your customers will love you for it. Okay, where'd my wax go? So I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of Renaissance wax. Any kind of paste wax, or I mean, really, you could rub the threads with a candle. I've actually done that before on a pen that I needed to send out and didn't have, it wasn't, I keep all my products at my house and I don't have paste wax there. And so I just literally rubbed the thing with the candle and it worked fine. So in a pinch, candle will work. Paste wax is probably better. So I'm guessing that these are literally the same exact part. The two things that you press in, I'm guessing they're the same exact threads and everything. So you can't even get it like backwards or anything. and rollerball ink. Very cool. Whew, that is a nice looking pen. I'll get you guys in a second on the live stream. Man, that's pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna bring you guys over into the light here. Put you guys right here and angle you down. Man, I'm digging this kit. This is a pretty cool kit. Okay, and it looks fabulous with this blank, of course. Look at that. That's a pretty fancy looking pen right there. And it's just a little magnetic, this one I think I'm keeping. Look at this. You can even be like, oh. Oh. Wow. It's very shiny. It's too shiny to get a good shot of with all these lights in here. My only issue with the clip being up there, like if you clipped it on your shirt, I mean, it could just fall out. It's a pretty good magnet though. I mean, you got to really give it a tug. So I don't think it's going to fall off. However, I don't know that I would trust that clip and let the pen hang outside my pocket. Pretty cool though. Woo! Digging this thing. What do you guys think? Let's switch you guys over to the intro cam and I'll read some comments. Jen and Doug are the enforcers. Yeah. Doug's usually doing some kind of project. Oh, let me go get a link to that. So let's see here. Oh, that's what the Smurf spanner. I see. Smurf spanner. Oh, does the cap post? Oh, look at that. I didn't even think about that. What? This is a really cool kit. So this is the first time I ever used it. I'm going to go get a link for you guys in the chat because seriously, you got to get some of this. It's called Athens, I think it was what it was. It was, man, I don't know if I'm keeping this one for sure, but I'm definitely going to make another one of these and it will be mine. It will be mine. So I think Athens, I'll get you guys a link, and I'm getting an affiliate link. So if you use this link, they have different colors too, the different plating. There's a gold. Oh, I guess there's only gold and chrome. So I did chrome. This would be a good one to have like copper. They could do a lot of stuff with this one. So let me get the link and I'll convert it into a. And that way, if you guys, so it's an affiliate link. If you guys use this link, if you use my links, Turner's Warehouse hooks me up with a referral bonus. So that's pretty cool. How about that? So there's a link to it. Pretty cool. It's postable too. Oh man. It's definitely not coming off. It's a good magnet on there. Wow. All right, guys, this is one of my new favoriteest kits ever. Because it's a roller ball too. That's the thing. You know, usually these things are the ball points, which are great. I like them too. But for people that want a roller ball in a single piece pen kit, single blank, then there's not too many options out there. Yeah, maybe it's like a Zen, I guess. I've never turned one of those either. Nice. Oh, is there, let me look on the thing. Maybe there is because I don't know. Yeah, mine's a gunmetal, guys. This is gunmetal, not chrome. So I am going to have to definitely contact Chad and be like, listen, buddy, you don't even have it. You got to get more. So this, again, this one's gunmetal. I thought that it didn't look like chrome. So a little bit different plating. Gunmetal is what I just made one out of. They have gold and chrome, and the chrome looks good. I'm usually not a gold kind of person, but you know. Let's see here. Do you need to be on a diet to turn it? I don't know what that means. They're not that bad. It's 19 bucks. I don't know. It's well worth it for me. I think that's a reasonable price. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but with the diet. Anyway. I need a horn. Well, I don't know that I did like something amazing with this, but I'm really digging the kit, which I had nothing to do with. It's a nice looking thing though. I think I like it even better. I think this looks fabulous. Having the metal on both sides, but again, I think I didn't put a link yet down in the show notes. The idea for the segmented thing came from Chad Schimmel. He did this easy segmenting video that not too long ago. So if you haven't seen this, I was kind of shooting the turning a video of turning, and I shot the segmenting part, but I'm not going to go through and explain anything about how to do it because Chad's video is fabulous. It got me super excited to try this out. So here's a link to that. To his video. He sells the segmenting material. I actually have a link to the segmenting material. And it's just basically, it's like aluminum with some plastic in between. It's a sandwich. So it's all one piece, the metal parts. And you just cut it. Let me actually go get a piece of this. All right. So you just cut this, cut it into a square, and then you cut your blank and glue it together. And so it's all there. Like it is the simplest segmenting on the planet. It's not like that super difficult stuff, and it's pretty cool. You can do if you cut them in like 45s, then glue it, and then cut another 45 on the 90. I'm not even going to explain it. Go watch Chad's video. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with these things, and it's just as simple as cutting it in half. Now, one thing that I did notice. Again, if you're going to go down the OCD path of things, you might have noticed that one of these segment things kind of had a wobble to it. So, you might need to be very careful about, squaring the blank up first and getting everything like square, dead on square, and then cutting it 90 degrees when you cut the blank. Otherwise, you're going to get the segments. Not that you would even notice it in the final thing, but if it's that big of a deal, you might need to do a little bit more fussing with getting everything square on your miter gauge or your miter saw, whatever it is. But I mean, you don't really need to that's the whole point. Like, you don't need to overthink this. It is super simple. You literally just cut the blank up, glue things together with CA glue, and you're done. So definitely go check it out. And Is that a good price, Art? I don't know. 20 bucks is pretty cheap for me. Yeah, I like the gunmetal especially. Hey, there's Ray. What's up? Yeah, gunmetal generally I kind of lean towards that one too. Yeah, pens can get expensive, but I don't know. I mean, at the same time, you can sell pens for quite a bit also, depending on what's going on, where your market is and all that kind of stuff. But it's not a bad thing to do, The Sierras are pretty reasonably priced. That's why I like I do a lot of experimenting with the Sierra blank. For anybody that's thinking about getting into pen turning, I would recommend, do not go down the road of getting a bunch of slim lines because they're the cheapest kit on the planet, and that seems like a smart idea. they're actually way harder to work with than any of the other kits as far as I'm concerned. And I'm done with them. I won't even turn one basically at this point. So I think that like getting a little bit better quality kit is actually better because you don't run into, you know, assembly problems with them usually, and the platings don't just wear off in like 6 months. So I think it's better to spend a little bit more money on a kit and, you know, whatever. But the Sierras are a good one for just experimenting. You can test things and get through a lot of them because they're a single blank. For new pen turners, it is a little bit harder. You guys probably saw that it took me a while to get the shaping done on this. It's just, I find it's so much easier on a shorter blank. You can just kind of whip them out. Longer blanks tend to be they take a little bit longer to mess with, but I mean, still not hard. The bolt action kits are like really popular if you're trying to sell pens. So that's not a bad one to pick up if you're trying to sell them. They're not usually that expensive. And then if I'm going for like a fancy kit, I usually just do the juniors. And so you can kind of minimize, that's how I did things. I minimized how much I needed to spend on bushings and drill bits and kits and all this other stuff by trying to limit typically how many different drill bits and bushings and stuff I needed to get. And actually this one falls within a good category for me because it's the same drill bit as the junior body, the junior gent body. And at least you get one bushing out of that if you buy your bushings for the junior kit. One thing you could do is just contact Brian over at TBC Bushings. He'll make you up one extra junior cap, you know, or body, nib side, whatever, the right one. He'll make you one more that's the same size as the junior nib. And so, you know, I don't know. That's the way that I tried to kind of minimize things. But pens are fun. I mean, you know. But there is a lot of stuff going on. I understand that. So anyway, yeah, all hobbies are expensive. It's true. There is a lot of stuff for pens. Like if you just want to get into bowl turning, that's generally not that hard. Especially let's get rid of, if you're just turning wood. It's pretty simple to just go get a chuck and you can turn bowl after bowl. You don't really need a lot of stuff. You're going to need a bowl gouge. And that's probably about it. I mean, or you could just get like your Easy Wood Tools round cutters. So like that's probably the simplest thing. Some spindles also, but pens get a little bit more expensive. But then when you really start getting into all the different stuff, you know, hollowing, you know, I don't think it really matters what you do in turning. You're going to spend a lot of money on different tools and things for your lathe and blanks and who knows. So $20 is definitely not a high end for a pen kit. There are pen kits that are over $100, so 20 bucks. This depends. That's why I was saying it depends on maybe on your perspective, but 20 bucks is really kind of, it's not cheap, but it's not really that expensive at all. So anyway, guys, so let's see. What time is it? I can't see what time it is. 5:15. Okay. I'm going to have to get going here. I'm going to finish up this little video thing, probably shoot a little outro, and then it's time to get some dinner. So I appreciate you guys joining the fun tonight. I definitely recommend try this out. And here's another thing is, so, you know, I made a pen doing this segmenting stuff. I want to make sure everybody understands that when you buy this segmenting stuff, it comes in a big sheet. So this isn't like, oh, you got to make a pen with this. You can make pepper mills, you could make, you know, an ice cream scoop handle. You could do all kinds of different blanks and use the same segmenting. This is not a pen turning thing. Might be a little bit harder to segment using this stuff, a bowl. I guess you maybe could, but you know, like, so for, you know, any kind of spindle though, you can do the segmenting thing. So I just want to mention that before we go. It didn't really dawn on me. But Chad also talks about that in his video. So that's why I'm not talking in my video that's I don't know when this will get posted, but I'm just kind of showing the steps and saying, here's what the pen I made with it. Go try it. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Before you leave, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. I got to tease you. I'm going to tease you, but you're going to be so excited. Check out what we're going to do on Friday. We're making a gigantic bowl blank out of this Buckeye Burl. All right. So if you have nothing better to do on Friday, definitely come and join the fun on my channel because we're going to be mixing up a ton of resin and we're going to make a giant blank. So I'm excited. So I like I said, I've had a lot of stuff going on like over the weekend and everything. This was one of the projects I was working on. I was stabilizing stuff, actually stabilizing that. And I'm going to be doing a video. So on Friday, we're going to dunk that basically. We're going to make a blank out of it, cast it. On Sunday, hopefully, if I can get everything done by then, Sunday, I actually shot a video of me stabilizing that piece of Buckeye Burl. So let me actually pull it out just to kind of tease you guys a little bit more. So it's a pretty big chunk of Buckeye Burl. And there was nothing special about the stabilizing, but I wanted to do a video just to kind of show you guys how I would do that basically, because it obviously doesn't fit in my Turntex chambers. So it's going to be kind of weird. We're going to actually cast the blank on Friday, and then Sunday the stabilizing of that blank or of the wood is going to be posted. So anyway, I hope to see you guys on Friday. That's going to be a really fun one to make. And I appreciate you guys joining the fun tonight, and I hope you have a great rest of the evening. I'll see you on Friday.